So good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I'm standing here in pitch darkness in a nature reserve quite close to my house, and can you believe that this is the first time in over 1.5 months that I have taken an image with my camera. You know, absolute crazy. I don't even know why it took so long. I just didn't feel inspired, the weather wasn't working, busy schedule, we have some holidays, kids from home, different working schedule from my wife that didn't allow me to go out on every day that I would have wanted to go out. But here I am again, and immediately I can feel this calmness coming over me that I always experience when I'm out doing photography, and I needed this, I needed this. And I don't even care if these images are going to be good or crap today. I just needed some time out, time on my own, time to relax, But I did find a rather nice image here that I never shot before actually. So let me try to show you. It's still pitch dark, as you can see behind me. So I'm using my phone as a light. I've got the tripod set up here with the camera, and the 1x1 just really works because this foreground here, I hope you can see it, I don't really like that. I like those balls of the reeds in the water there, but I don't like the messy foreground here just before those reeds, so trying to get that out of the shot. So this is the composition. I darkened it a little bit, but you can see all those reeds here in the foreground in the water, and then there's one tree exactly in that gap over there, and hopefully that is going to give me a pretty nice shot over here. So pushing the shutter, this is it. So one of the reasons why I didn't go out for such a long time for photography is last week I read a news article that talked about that we had the longest sunless period in the Netherlands in over 35 years. So there had been 3.5 weeks without any sunlight, complete cloud cover all day long, and that lasted for over 3 weeks. Then we had one afternoon with a little bit of light. That was last week. And for the past week, again, overcast, no light at all. And it just didn't inspire me at all to go out, especially when you're coming from autumn with such amazing colors and conditions. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. But yeah, I guess you didn't notice it on the channel because I shot a lot of content in autumn, in October, and in November. I think the last time I touched my camera was November 10 for a trip, and today it's December 27th. So that's over 1.5 months. I don't think I've been without my camera for such a long time in over 35 years, Yeah. But I'm happy to be out here again, and I have a couple of new things that I'm trying today that I want to show you. So let me talk to you about that in a little while. First, let's find another composition here. I should have got some wellies so I can walk into the water a little bit. That would have helped, but I don't have them, and it is quite cold. So because it's cold, they are back, my Fl36 photography gloves. This is the Markov version, and they are just so comfortable, and great materials that they used to make this. You can get your fingers out quite easy, you see, and there are little magnets on the back that you can turn backwards so that they aren't disturbing you when using the camera. And you can do it with your thumb also, it's the same, 2 fingers on each glove. And there is a zipper in here, you can put heat pads in. and they're just really comfortable. So this is actually my third pair. I've got some for very changing conditions. So if you have interested in photography gloves, have a look on the website of Fl36. This is the Markov. I also have the Tinden, which is much more suitable for Arctic conditions like I did in Sweden last year. And I have the Urbex, which is more for like a spring to summer morning where it can be quite cold. Then you have these very thin little gloves. But for autumn, winter here in the Netherlands, the Tinden was a bit too thick, the Urbex was a bit too thin, so I got this, the Markov. So if you're interested in them, look in the description of this video. There is a link to the website of Fl36. If you use that link, you will get a little commission to me, which I would really appreciate. So a little support to the channel. So let's take this shot, enough talking, and some more gear that I'm using today for the first time in the rest of the video. So another thing that's new to this channel and to me and that I'm using for the first time today is actually on the camera right now. You can see it's an L bracket. I never used it, and when I was using the Em1X, I actually disguised these things, and I never saw the purpose of them. But when I got my OM1, I started to realize, because there was this space around the camera that I didn't have with the Em1X, that I was thinking, it might be nice if you can switch it very easily from portrait to landscape. And so slowly by slowly I started coming across people that were using them, and in the end, on Black Friday, I found a good deal, and so I bought this. I don't even know what it is, a three-legged thing, I think. Three-legged thing, Ollie. I don't know, something like that. But it just suits the camera quite well, and I'm using it for the first time, and I'm gonna try it for the first time here on this particular shot. So I finalized the composition here, and again I'm going for this 1:1 crop to reduce that foreground a little bit and that top. So I'm only concentrating on that middle section, and again I'm taking a high-res shot to compensate for the loss of pixels that I'm facing right now. So let me show you the composition that I got, because I think it's quite nice actually. It's quite nice. So this is the shot that I'm taking. You can see I reduced this foreground here. So you got a little bit of the reeds, then all these small islands of reeds in there, and then on top, I hope you are able to see it. Now the camera turns off. In the top section there, you can see I've got these trees, and it actually looks a bit like this. So you got that tree, this high one, the smaller one, and a little branch on the right side. So that's gonna be my square over here with a little bit of foreground. I think that works nice. It really works nice. And that brings me to another thing that I've got new. Well, this actually isn't mine. I wanted to buy it, but then the people at OM System said, do you want to try it first, because you can loan it for about 3 months. So this is the 8-25 F4 that I've got attached to the lens, to the camera right now. The first time I'm out with the 8-25. I'm actually quite amazed by this lens. You know, I used to take the 7-14 2.8 and the 12-40 2.8. I love that combination, but what I noticed is that I rarely use my 7-14. I rarely use it, but with this range from 8-25, somehow I'm walking around and I'm using that wider angle a lot more than I'm used to, just because it's in one particular lens. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised by this thing. At what I'm seeing on the camera, it looks all razor sharp, but it might replace 2 lenses for me. That leaves a little bit of a gap between 25 and 40 millimeters. I know that I'm gonna lose a little bit on the focal range, but it's a lot lighter. You know, I rarely shoot 2.8 with those other lenses, so F4 is perfect for me as a landscape photographer. And yeah, I'm just curious to see how this thing figures, and eventually I'm probably gonna buy it myself. But until now, I'm pretty surprised by this thing. So yeah, definitely worth the investment, I think. So I found another interesting shot over here. Just look behind me. You've got this one interesting dominant tree on this small peninsula in the water here. Then you have these two trees that are looking quite similar on the other side. So I'm gonna use it in one shot. So one dominant tree on the right, and then those two shots that are a little bit more fading out in the background. And then there is a lot of stuff going on back there, but due to the fog you just can't see it, and that's why I'm probably noticing this shot right now and never noticed it before. But I think it's worth shooting, so let me try to show you on back. So you can see that I put this dominant tree here on the right side, and then you can't really see it, but those other trees are here on the left side, and then you got this pool of water coming in from the left, and on the right side you got this lake over here. So you can see I'm using this water here to those trees, and then this tree is in the middle of that water. I think it looks quite nice. Maybe I'm gonna turn it to black and white. Maybe I'm gonna turn every shot today to black and white, you know, I have no idea actually. But it's been an interesting day so far, you know. Quite close to my house, about 10-15 minutes. But conditions are great, and the kids are having their school holiday. So I want to be back a little bit earlier than normally. But I was just aching to go out again, you know, 1.5 months without photography. Crazy, absolute crazy. So I'm trying to make a little bit benefit of the 8mm here that I have on, 8-25, and I'm aiming it down to this bottle here in the foreground. You can see that I can make a nice portrait of this complete bottle with the reflection of this tree, then the tree in the top right corner. And what I'm noticing is that this lens isn't as distorted as the 7-14. You know, this would be a shot that's impossible with the 7mm because the tree would be completely out of shape. But with this lens on 8mm, it still looks quite nice actually. So taking this shot and I'm putting it to black and white. I took a color one also, of course, but I'm just trying to see if this black and white works. There's not much color in this image, so hopefully I can raise the contrast a little bit in post-processing and make this a quite juicy image. But yeah, I think it looks quite nice. Just gonna put it on f8. About half a second. Timer, ISO 200. That's it. So this is the first time that I'm experiencing a bit of a negative about the 8-25. I just saw another shot and I left the 12 to 40 at home, but the shot that I'm taking right now would actually be really good at 30, 35 millimeter. But I don't have that focal range. You know, I have 8 to 25, 40, 150. So there's a little gap there, and this next shot would be exactly in that position. So how I solved it, I put the 40 to 150 on, as you can see, and I could move a little bit further to the front, but I'm just moving a couple of meters back so I can use this lens at 40 millimeters. So I found a real nice minimalistic shot here that I would like to share with you. So let me show you on the back of the camera. So you can see it's all about this tree over here. And I'm putting it in black and white so I can raise the contrast a little bit. You see there's not much color in this scene. But what I'm most interested about, if you look over here, underneath that tree is another tree in the background. And by putting it to black and white, I hope to pull that with a little bit of more contrast out so you can really see it. So I'm putting it in a square, only that shot. So this is it. I think this is going to be rather nice. I'm taking it in a color version also, but I think this shot will really benefit from black and white. I just like it, absolutely like it. So this is the shot. So if you watch this channel regularly, then you know that I kind of like to get minimalistic when it comes to my photography. And it doesn't get much more minimalistic than the shot that I'm taking right now. So I'm just programming the camera, and let me show you what I'm talking about in the meantime that the camera is taking this image. Just look over here to this bush here. The whole background is faded away due to the mist, and this bush normally is standing on a piece of land, but because there's been so much rain, everything around it is flooded, creating this nice shaped bush with a nice reflection. So, and I'm just photographing it like this with absolutely nothing around it. And I've already taken a portrait shot with only the bush, but I just wanted to see how it looked when you use a lot of negative space on the left side, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm actually considering to wait here for a minute and to hope that some duck or geese or cormorant, which are around here quite a lot, will swim into that negative space. That would be really nice, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to happen. You know, most of the ducks are on that side, so it would take a long time before they are swimming over here, or one has to come from the side here where I can't see it. But yeah, I think it's a really, really nice minimalistic shot. So this is that shot. So in an attempt to look for a bit of filling of that negative space with that tree, I found this spot, and unfortunately the wind has picked up a little bit, but just look behind me. If you look on this tree over here right now, there's a bit of ripple in the water that wasn't here a couple of minutes ago, so that is a shame. But I did manage to get a bit of those reeds of that island on the right side in the image, and it actually looks quite nice. It looks quite nice. So I got the camera a bit low, so I've got these reeds on the same level as the tree, which I think works pretty nicely. So I'm gonna try a bit of a longer exposure, but then the branches in this little bush are moving, so it's gonna be quite difficult. So I'm probably gonna wait here for about 5 minutes, see what happens. Maybe the wind will drop again, and then I'm gonna take this shot. Maybe a duck will swim in, but once again the ducks aren't here on this side, unfortunately. That would have been the cherry on the cake, but I'm already quite satisfied with this absolute minimalistic tree. You know, something I've never photographed before, because normally it's standing on a piece of land here. So only possible in these conditions today. Yeah, 27th of December 2024. So quite likely this is my last shoot of 2024. So yeah, this video is going to be released somewhere in 2025. I think the first week or something. I have no idea. But I hope you like it. This is the shot. So with that last shot, I'm going to end today's video. I hope you like this video. Kind of surprising conditions and some surprising images. You know, I always find this location quite difficult to photograph, but I actually took some images that I'm kind of like, you know, and never seen before. You know, I've been walking here so many times, but every time it's different, you know, and that's the beauty of photography. Every time of year is different, and I was struggling a bit, and I needed to find some couple of nice images to get back into that mood. And I think I definitely did, especially with that real minimalistic bush here at the end. I really, really like it. So yeah, I hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget, please push that thumbs up button. You will massively help this channel to grow. And there is a subscribe button underneath this video. And yeah, I hope this year, 2025, when this video is going to be released, will be a great photography year for all of us. So yeah, I hope you will join me on this trip this year. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.